My Disney Investor Day coverage continues, and in this video I'm going to focus on how Disney is using the Fox acquisition to finally expand the type of content that Disney can offer. We all love Disney Plus, but nobody wants to eat vanilla ice cream every day, no matter how delicious it might be. And that's, I think, it's the second biggest complaint. The first biggest complaint about Disney Plus is that they simply don't have enough new content. And then I think the follow-up is that there's a sameness to all of it. I guess some little kids can go on it every day, but they're just not going to get the numbers that they want, the activity that they want, unless they expand their slate. Also, as you're about to see, that wants to sell you the package, where you have to sign up for Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. And that's, money is also a big driving factor as to the way this is set up. So before we get into the adult content that's coming to the Disney, streaming strategy, because it's multiple services, let's talk about how it's going to be set up. So yes, as I told you a long time ago, adult content is coming to Disney streaming. Now overseas, it's going to go under the Star brand. As many of you had pointed out, that's been a story that's been growing as well. And there was a little bit of tip-offs before the event with some of the accounts that Disney set up on social media. So the Star brand, which I believe originates out of India, very, very successful over there. And they did say during the presentation that putting Star with Disney Plus there, I believe it's integrated there already, but it's been it gets a lot of activity. So that's, I have to say, fans in India really are very much behind Disney, particularly in the Marvel section. So it's nice to see Disney paying attention to them and having, India being a trendsetter for what Disney does with the rest of the world. I liked seeing the cricket a graphic they had up. I thought that was really nice. All right, so because I don't think anybody really follows cricket too. Like America sits out the World Cup while the rest of the world has a good time, but cricket I think is an even more specific audience, but a very big one where it is. All right, so anyway, in some countries, Star will be integrated into the Disney app. It'll be another tab in the menu section. And basically, you can upgrade your entire app for adult content. And when you do, it will for your profile, your profile. Although I'm not sure how that's going to work because you can switch between profiles quite easily in the app as it is. But it'll mix the adult content throughout the categories. Like for instance, if you upgrade your app, or let's not call it an upgrade. If you switch your app to adult content, it would put, for instance, the Logan movie in the Marvel section. Other places, in other countries, it'll be its own app, Star. You'll have to purchase Star separately, particularly in Latin America. And I tweeted about that on Disney Investor Day, and many of you were very disappointed. And I agree. It sucks to have this stuff in different places. And in the U.S., Hulu is not going anywhere. I think not only because they are making a lot of money off of Hulu, which they talked about in the presentation, so they're like, so why would we get rid of this? Hulu apparently not only makes a lot of money from subscriptions, but there is it has a price model where it's cheaper, but you have ads. So they're making a lot of money from ad revenue. And then, I've also been talking to some people in the industry, and some of these places can sell money for ads in the shows themselves. So that's how HBO is a cable channel, not HBO Max, but HBO itself makes some money. And then also Hulu probably has some revenue coming in for that in that way. So, and also, as some of you have pointed out to me when we were discussing this on Twitter, Comcast has partial ownership still of Hulu, and so that's not going to go anywhere until I believe 2024, so they can't get rid of Hulu until then either. So again, they're going to push that package deal where you sign up for Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, and Hulu shows, by the way, in other countries will show up on Star. I really do feel that it would be better if this was all in one app. It would create a Disney corner again of the streaming area. I feel having it spread out just doesn't give it the cohesiveness, and it makes it, I have to be honest with you, a little less fun. But damn it, contracts. All right, so anyway, Warner Brothers is like, tell me about it. Warner Brothers hates contracts right now. All right, so Hulu. Hulu, we'll go over Hulu's programming and a little bit of National Geographic. But Hulu has, of course, FX on Hulu, which it airs on the FX cable channel, and then also it can appear on Hulu. And some content is exclusive to Hulu, like Mrs. America, which was so good, but like nobody watched it because I still feel not a lot of people have Hulu, which is a shame. I was very reluctant to get Hulu. I got it for Love Victor, which is also amazing. And then I was like, this is like the best streaming service ever. And I have so many good sitcoms on there, although they're losing Seinfeld. But I think it's a fabulous service. It has Catherine the Great on there, which is just so good. I love that show. There's a lot of good stuff on Hulu. So, you know, that's one of the pluses of having to subscribe to it. You're getting good content. And you're going to continue to get good content. So there's FX is bringing you, this was, I think, the most exciting thing to come out of the presentation when it comes to Hulu, and that's an Alien series. As soon as I told you they were going to have adult content on Disney Plus, we were all like, where's my Alien show? We don't want another Alien movie. I think Alien movies have like gone as far as they can. And speaking of Alien-based TV shows, Raised by Wolves seems very much to be in that universe on HBO Max, and it's phenomenal. Although, as I told you, I've heard that it's a bit too expensive for HBO Max, especially because the app is struggling a little bit on launch. And so I heard that while they are having a season 2, it's going to be pared down a little bit. But speaking of Raised by Wolves, Ridley Scott is involved in that, and he's currently in talks to come on board this project. He's probably like, what about my Raised by Wolves? If I were him, I'd be like, can we have a crossover of some way? Because, you know, Raised by Wolves isn't officially in the same universe, but it clearly is. Noah Hawley will be spearheading this. I think Noah Hawley is brilliant, but wildly uneven, so I'm a little nervous about that. Sometimes he's a little bit too cerebral, which nobody wants. I think that, you know, I'm sure some of you are like, I wanted Grace, but it really limits the audience. This will be the first Alien story set on Earth, and I'm very excited. You know, Michael Fassbender is not really that busy, quite frankly. He's making that Taika Waititi movie, right, about soccer, but otherwise, I'd really love to see David return. He's a model. He's a product. He can show up anywhere. Someone can purchase him anywhere. So that series is coming. I'm very excited about that. They didn't give a date. Shogun, and this was funny. They were like, this was the real Game of Thrones. And we're like, everyone's got Game of Thrones envy. Everyone's got Netflix envy and Game of Thrones envy. HBO currently has Game of Thrones envy. They're very worried about being able to repeat that success and keep it going. Although I think that their House of the Dragon is shaping up quite nicely. And everybody else knows it, and they're scared. So FX on Hulu is like, well, we're going to do Shogun, which is going to be like the Westworld Asia section, but we're going to like really deliver for you. It will be like a full show. And we have a Game of Thrones director, they said, Tim Van Patten, which is really misleading. He directed the very first Game of Thrones episode, actually, but that was way back in 2011, and he's only done 2 episodes total. So I wouldn't call him a Game of Thrones director. Although, promisingly, he did do a lot of Boardwalk Empire and the recent Perry Mason, which had a lot of problems, but I wouldn't say it was with the directing. I thought that was a very attractive and well-directed series. A lot of style. So I'm excited for Shogun. And then also they're bringing back another American horror story for Hulu, FX on Hulu. And as for Hulu proper, they got a lot of stuff from Disney Television. Handmaid's Tale, season 4 is coming, and they've greenlit a season 5. I do feel Handmaid's Tale is a little bit past its sell-by date, to be honest with you, but let's see. The Kardashians have moved to Hulu. That is the craziest thing ever. I'm like, Disney, you might be able to do a little bit more adult content, but talk about going from 0 to, forget 60, this is 100 in terms of adult content. And as some people pointed out online, Kanye West now will show up on in the Disney era of streaming. So that's, to me, real crazy. So the Kardashians just left E! I heard E! couldn't really afford to pay them what they wanted, and the Kardashians, you know, you would think at the time it seemed like they were like, what were they going to do? But they probably had this Hulu deal in the works all the time. So, you know, I have to say, you know, Kris Jenner is a phenomenal businesswoman, and this is a great deal. So it's amazing. So the Kardashians, we don't know how they're going to show up on Hulu, but they're coming. Then, Only Murders in the Building will be a comedic show with Steve Martin, Martin Short, and then Selena Gomez rounding out that group, which is a funny addition. I think that should be a lot of fun. Then there's The Dropout about Elizabeth Holmes. She ran that medical company that turned out to be a giant scam. Jennifer Lawrence has been trying to do a movie about her, but it looks like Kate McKinnon, who's also racing people on doing the Carol Baskin. Well, it looks like Kate McKinnon's going to get here first, and I think she's going to get there first on Carol Baskin too. Good for you, Kate McKinnon. because I feel she doesn't seem fully involved in SNL these days. She's probably working to get these projects off the ground. So I'm excited about that. Dope Sick, which is about meth in middle America. I don't know, that might be some hard truths, but I'm interested in it. I don't think enough focus is paid on what's on the suffering that's going on with middle America, and I think that's the root of a lot of our problems and divisions these days. And I think and a part of that is a lack of sympathy for what's happening to middle America. So maybe this show will help. Michael Keaton, Peter Skarsgård star, along with Rosario Dawson, who seems to be getting a lot of Disney work. Good for her, because of course she's in the new Ahsoka show. Then talk about a factory. David E. Kelley has yet another series coming out. He's already done, of course, David E. Kelley's been prolific for quite a long time. He was like behind Ally McBeal, married to Michelle Pfeiffer. Why doesn't she get on any of these TV shows? But anyway, maybe she doesn't want to. She's doing some movie work, also for Disney, by the way. She's in the upcoming Ant-Man again. But anyway, now he's doing a show for Hulu. So he was behind Big Little Lies, The Undoing, very big hit, both very big hits for HBO. But now he's doing 9 Perfect Strangers, which also stars Nicole Kidman. She's 3 for 3 with David E. Kelley shows. And Melissa McCarthy, what an interesting addition. She seems a little out of place. But Melissa McCarthy is a fantastic dramatic actress, which is easy to forget because she doesn't show it that often. I mean, she's Oscar nominated. Well, actually for Bridesmaids, right? But she's a very good dramatic actress. So I'll be curious. I think Melissa McCarthy could talk about want to have a little bit of different flavor. I feel Melissa McCarthy could really use this right now. And also, of course, how could I forget? She's Ursula in the upcoming Disney live action Little Mermaid. So she's very invested. She's very Team Mouse, right? Then finally, National Geographic had 2 shows that I thought were very, very promising. Darren Aronofsky is over at National Geographic in a big way, putting together not only some fantastic cinematography, but some really big name talent. Chris Hemsworth and Will Smith will both head up their own shows where they go and do zany stuff and we get to see. By the way, the Will Smith show is called Welcome to Earth, which is based on his fabulous line from Independence Day where he punches out that alien. And of course, Independence Day is now a Disney movie thanks to the Fox acquisition. But I think that this is not only very smart for National Geographic on Disney Plus, I think a lot of people, I don't really watch the National Geographic tab, but I would be interested in these shows. There's so much content these days, you can't watch it all. It's almost impossible. So you have to really try and get people to come over and check out what you have. And I think Chris Hemsworth and Will Smith doing zany stuff is a really good carrot. And I think this will also help both of them. Will Smith has really helped him being on YouTube, making YouTube videos. So I see this as an extension of that. And I think that's the perfect thing for Chris Hemsworth to do as well. Chris Hemsworth, he is fantastic as Thor. I think he's a great comedian, but he's still struggling a little bit outside of the Marvel movies. So I think something like this could really help, create a relationship between him and audiences that I think will help him going forward and give him a sustainable career for the day that he does stop making Thor movies. But he's already on number 4. He's lasted beyond a trilogy. That's impressive. And that just shows, I think, how good he is right now. So I think that's great content. What do you think? How do you think it fits with the Disney brand? What do you think of how they've decided to handle adult content? Do you think it should all be on one app, or are you fine the way it is? And which of these shows excite you the most? Share your thoughts down below. Subscribe today for not only all my Disney Investor Day coverage, but a bunch of videos, some of which you can watch right now.